Growing up, I was always the only boy in my family, so my dad was the person I could always go to. We did practically everything together. Not only was he my father, he was my best friend. He was also in the Air Force, and he specialized in EOD. For those of you who are unfamiliar, EOD stands for Explosive Ordinance Disposal, meaning that it was his job to disarm bombs and anything that could be a potential threat. And with having a job in the Air Force also means that you get deployed a lot. And while it was sad to see him go, I always knew that we'd see each other again. In the summer of 2011, my dad went on his last trip, and one day he and my mother had been talking, which was a daily routine for them. And then their call was interrupted. There was a knock on my dad's door, and he told my mom that he'd call her back. But he never did. Instead, he was called out on that third mission. His team successfully detonated the first device, but the robot that was sent in to get it failed, so my dad, being the technical sergeant, volunteered to retrieve the robot. And that's when a second device exploded. The following night, my family was greeted by a military truck that had pulled into our driveway. But me, being 9 years old at the time, I didn't understand what was going on. But my mom instantly knew that whatever news these guys had for us, it wasn't going to be good. And she was right. Because a few minutes later, she sat me and my sisters down on the couch and told us that unfortunately my dad wasn't going to be coming home. We were all shocked and devastated at the news, especially because we had all talked to him the day before, and the last thing that we ever heard him say to us was, "I love you." And nobody had any idea that that was the last time we were ever going to hear his voice. About 4 years passed by, and my mother had started her own business. My mom was an event planner, often holding baby showers, weddings, birthday parties, and the like. And one day, she created her own event called Women of Warriors. The purpose of the event was to shed light in the community on the families whose lives would be forever affected due to military service and dealing with things such as PTSD, amputation, and in some cases, even death. And it also served an additional purpose to uplift women in the community and build relationships and develop support systems for them. The Women of Warriors event was talked about widely, and it got so widely recognized that one day, while me and my sisters were helping my mom set up for an upcoming event, the phone rang. It was an unknown number from Chicago. She answered the phone, and then a few minutes later, excitedly told us that the Women of Warriors event became so widely recognized that we were going to fly out to Chicago and be on the Steve Harvey talk show for their Mother's Day special, because my mom had been nominated for Mother of the Year. The trip to Chicago was amazing. We got to see a bunch of cool sights, got to go to the studio where they record the Steve Harvey talk show, and we also had the honor of meeting the man himself, Steve Harvey, and he was a really amazing person. While we didn't end up winning the Mother of the Year award, honestly, that's okay, because that's not what matters. What really matters is how my mother managed to turn a tragic situation into a triumph. And if that isn't growth, I don't know what is.
Oh my god, and we totally jumped off the cliff and had to swim all the way to shore because the dog chased us all the way to the end. Oh.